Certain forces active upon the Earth aim to artificially suppress the natural evolution of human consciousness. It may come as unnerving news to some to hear that humanity is constantly being bombarded by forces and events that are beyond our control. It is these forces that aim to target the very spaces in which humanity has a modicum of free choice and free will. Think about where you're sitting right now.
In many ways, it's a tool for speaking to myself.
In short, it is the war of consciousness.
So I guess I could call it my quarter life crisis because it hit me when I was about 25, and I later came to learn that this happens to a lot of people around this age. I had a lot of self-doubts about, the art that I was making. I sort of hated the idea that there is this thing that I had to do to be happy, which is writing music. I'm like, no, I don't want to feel like I have to do anything to be happy. I'm not going to write music, and I'm still going to be happy, and we'll see. And I did see. I spiraled into a sort of dark time. I was very unhappy. During this time, when I was ignoring this, I definitely started feeling very lost and very depressed and aimless, without purpose, because I knew what my purpose was and I was ignoring it. And in retrospect, looking back at that time, there was actually a really huge change that was happening within the music industry. Mainly because we were going from the old format of the way, literally the old format, so records, tapes, CDs, where there's a physical copy, and the invention of Napster. Having digital downloads changed everything. So what suddenly happened was that these record labels were trying to find their place. The world that we knew it, the industry as we knew it, couldn't figure out how it was going to make money. And so here I was, kind of unaware that this whole catastrophe was happening, and just wondering, why is it that I've sent out all these demos and I haven't gotten a single reply? And so I decided that I wasn't going to write music anymore. I wasn't going to pursue this path, and I just refocused. I doubled down on my graphic design, and I was working in newspapers at that point as a graphic designer, advertising design, page layout, stuff like that. And I went to my first Burning Man in 2006. It sounds cheesy to say, but it really was life-changing for me. I had been an artist my whole life, but what had held me back the most was standing in my own way, really. And I just had this epiphany at that first Burning Man, seeing people creating these gigantic, ridiculous things that, it's like, wow, they didn't have any second thoughts here. They just had this idea to make a gigantic rubber ducky and hired a team of people to make this, if anyone said that it was stupid, they didn't care. They did it anyway. And I just realized I was letting other people's opinions sway my work and sway like the direction of my life too much. And even my own self-doubts of what I thought was possible. Finally, when I went out to Burning Man, went out to the playa and saw people just doing it anyway, I realized that, this is what I need to do to be happy and to live fulfilling life, and that's a good thing. That I even have this at all. I should be thankful for it, and I should do it. So yeah, I'd like to do a tech check usually at my hotel or wherever I'm staying. If I don't have time to set up everything, then I like to just make sure everything is there, because there's no worse feeling than getting on stage and realizing that you left something important.
Yeah, we're at Astronauts. We're having a great time. Magical wubs, that's all I have to say. I went to the music last night and I was like, okay, all right, yeah. They know what they're doing on the EDM front for sure. Yeah.
So like Eartha, she does dub in this beautiful way. She takes all the elements of her tracks and she mixes between them in this classic technique where you're actually interacting with the mixing board like it was an instrument, right? And her music sounds like someone's behind like a 16-channel mixing board, and they're cutting in and out of different parts, and they're remixing it together the most classic way. But it also still really sounds future, It's got that sound of how folk music will sound like 20 years from now, maybe.
There's this moment when I realized that all these hours have reached this moment on the top of the mountain. So there's all these little mountaintops that happen, and the completion of a track is one of them. To then be able to play that on a dance floor and see people get as excited about it as I felt while I was writing it, or when I finally heard that final version, that just kicks that up, to the next level. It's rewarding enough just to create it, but then to realize that other people can get that same high from it, from something that came through me, it's just, I don't even know how to put words to it, but it's one of the best feelings in the world. Imagine that no one else is ever going to experience your art. Would you keep doing it? In my case, yes, because I enjoy the process of it so much. Of course I want to share it with people, but when it turns all about the external validation of the art, that's when we get into trouble. There's this great quote by Andy Warhol that I kind of live by. It's, don't think about making art, just get it done. Let everyone else decide if it's good or bad, or whether they love it or hate it, and while they're deciding, make even more art.